मिट्टी जो है ना वो हमारी धरती है. Who's giving you the food? You need to understand that. You cannot change the society if you are not interested in it. Noise pollution is something which is a very big reality which we are facing every day. Just visited Vrindavan and I've just visited some smaller cities. I had to literally close my ears because somehow it was so much of honking. Everybody was honking. People don't have the time to wait. These things need to be done at an individual level, at a group level, and at a society level. Your efforts will definitely make a lot of difference. All of you can be change makers.
Did you know that according to the World Health Organization, noise pollution is now the second biggest environmental threat to public health, right after air pollution? That's why we are here. Welcome to Shorgul, a platform where we raise our voices not to add to the noise but to challenge it. Hello and a warm welcome. I'm Neena Singh, Environmental Project Head at Nisarg Srishti Welfare Foundation. I'm delighted to welcome you to the next episode of our talk show, Shorgul, presented by Nisarg Srishti Welfare Foundation. Our foundation began its journey on January 11, 2023 as a non-profit organization dedicated to environmental preservation, human welfare, nature conservation, and education. Joining us today is Dr. Anindita Chaudhary, a passionate environmentalist and a true champion of sustainable living and women empowerment. She is the founder and CEO of EcoServe, a social enterprise empowering over 200 women across rural India through creation of handmade sustainable products. A TEDx speaker and author, a certified CII Green Auditor, Dr. Chaudhary currently serves as the president of WICCI Sustainable Business Council, Maharashtra. And she is a core member of G20 Sustainable Resilient Communities. So let's welcome Dr. Anindita Chaudhary. Hello, Dr. Anindita. We are honored to welcome you to Shorgul.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Anindita, you have actively been involved in promoting sustainability through EcoServe. So what inspired you to start this journey and how did the idea take shape?
See, all my life I've stayed in a very green place. It is called in the West Bengal. It's called Durgapur. This place had a lot. I've been growing up in the midst of forest, playing with animals and everything. And it has always been there as part of my life's mission that whenever possible in life, I will definitely do something for the environment. Staying in a city in the middle of a concrete jungle has always made me feel that there is something which we are lacking, and we are cutting off so many, there's all construction happening. And also to connect people. Now, I cannot live in a forest. I have to lead my everyday life. So I decided that how can I start a journey? So after having my career, advertising and public relations career and the rat race, earning a lot of money, I decided to take a pause during my pregnancy. I have twin children. And when they were born, there were two things in my mind. One, I need to take a pause and do something which I am very passionate about, because there I had taken a gap. Because I really wanted to be with my children, with my family, and I wanted to do something which is going to be the motto of my life. So that is one thing I realized, that I wanted to start something where I can involve women from the villages, children, and educate people. And also this total concept is serving. EcoServe, as the name goes, is serving the environment in every which way possible. That is how the idea of EcoServe was born. And also my children were one of the major, reasons or motivators for me, that I wanted to inculcate the aspects of sustainability and connecting with the roots and nature, which I wanted my children. And at a very tender age, at the age of 1.5 or 2, they had planted a mango tree in a big pot, and I still have that mango tree. So that is how I've connected myself and my children and this cause.
You are getting good support from your children too.
Of course, they are very proud, and today they are, 14, going to be, teenagers. And I travel so much. I travel to the interiors. I am not there many a times, for them. I'm going out during their exams because I have to go, and they are now, becoming more responsible because they have seen me from day one. Yes, 5 6 years I have stayed with them and not done anything. It's only that when my children could start understanding that, what is the importance, because that time they really needed me. So but I, and those 5 6 years I spent inculcating the aspect, कि मिट्टी जो है ना वो हमारी धरती है हमारी, we have to connect to the roots. Today the modern children, they will wipe their hands and they'll find मिट्टी है, गंदा है, कचरा है, but this is the one who's giving you the food. You need to understand that. So I connected my children at a very early age.
That's very nice. So in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges India is facing in adopting truly sustainable practices, and especially at grassroots level? And do you think including sustainability in the school and college curriculum will bring some change?
Oh, definitely. See, what is happening is nobody likes to talk about only theory. What is happening is that if you do not inculcate the youth for understanding why, and you do not take them into these aspects of cleaning the rivers, cleaning the about different aspects of the environment, sitting in your comfortable homes. Today everybody has an AC in their homes. You do not know what this AC, what this what this amount of heat is contributing to the atmosphere. So it is very important not to throw jargons at children, not to throw jargons at even corporates. There are many. I take a lot of webinars, both nationally and internationally, and I have been the part of G20 and panel discussions of a lot of big international and national webinars and conferences, and where I find that there are lots of discussions happening. But are the corporates really incorporating them in their life? When it is your time to decide the corporate gift, or when it is time to decide for your new joinee, are you inculcating that in your company ethos? If you are not, then you cannot be talking about reducing the carbon footprint per se, because that is a very important aspect that so many organizations are there. If they start, even schools and colleges, they need to integrate this as part of their work culture. If they're gifting something, that has to be eco-friendly. And also it is very important, our Prime Minister is saying, everybody is saying that these MSMEs who are doing such great work, they do not get the exposure. So it is very important and mandatory for corporates, schools, education institutions to understand, to inculcate these as a part of their curriculum. And I'm shortly coming up with a curriculum which is very, very useful for the schools and colleges. Not just that, I'm also trying to understand that social entrepreneurship, which I'm doing, like EcoServe is a cause-driven organization. So that is understood by more and more people, and more people go towards understanding what it takes to become a social entrepreneur. It is not, seeing the Insta links and all that you can become an entrepreneur. There is a lot of hard work behind it. And it's I think whatever I've learned so far, I feel like imparting this knowledge to colleges, as many as possible, and I'm trying my best to do so.
Nice. So noise pollution is often overlooked in discussions on environmental issues. So how do you perceive its impact, and what is the role of social entrepreneurship through environment-oriented products?
See, noise pollution is something which is a very big reality which we are facing every day. There are certain cities where the pollution, even the honking, is not at all, it is very sad, but I've just visited Vrindavan, and, I've just visited some smaller cities, and there, in the north, and there was so much of honking happening. I had to literally close my ears because somehow it was so much of honking. Everybody was honking. People don't have the time to wait. That is the everyday sound. Okay, forget the occasional noise which is happening because of industries or because of crackers or this thing. If that has to stop, people have to understand that really takes a toll. There are newborn children, there are this thing, every organization, every society should have a definite rule about the noise cutoff, whether it is a construction work happening, whether it is a marriage, whether it is a function. You can't just be unendingly doing this. This has definitely an impact on the overall health of individuals and the environment. So we need to take this up in a very, very bold step we need to take. When I had come, I had stayed and studied in London for 4.5 years. When I came back from there to India, I literally had to shut my ears because it used to be so difficult for me to, the noise level was so high, and I could really make out the kind of noise differences in the decibel sounds. There are many cities which at least ban, during our celebrations. See, it's good to celebrate Ganpati, all the festivals. Okay, we sing, we dance. But there has to be a time cutoff for all these things. These things need to be done at an individual level, at a group level, and at a society level. Very, very important. And the second, which you said, question, if you could just repeat the second part, please.
What is the role of social entrepreneurship through environment-oriented products?
Definitely, social entrepreneur has a very important role because it is a cause-driven entrepreneurship. Whether you empower women, whether you take people who are underprivileged, whether you are doing environment-related, whatever you are there doing it, ultimately you're doing for the society. Whether you're using, employing acid victims in your job, or whether you're giving, like for example, as part of my job, not just environment, I understand the aspects, and I've also taken trans women for the shoot of my jewelry brand, because it's an inclusive society. And
Right.
also I've made the others, like the teenagers and the others who were participating in my brand shoot, were that these people have to be taken into the mainstream. Okay, so any social entrepreneur who wants to do something for the community, for the society, for the environment, first has to be very clear at what is their purpose and how are they going to make a change. Mine is not an NGO, mine is a social entrepreneurship. Why? Because I have decided my own patterns in which I want to bring a change. So this change has to be, change is very important. There are so many causes, there are so many things, especially related to the environment, that today we can do a lot of things. And there is a lot of awareness which was not there maybe when I started my journey a long time back. When I would talk about social entrepreneurship, it was something which is a complete Greek subject, nobody would understand. But today a lot of things, and I would also urge schools, principals, that if they are looking at their children to study social entrepreneurship, they should have special curriculums for them, so that they understand the difference between just being a startup and also being a social entrepreneur.
Very true.
That is very important. And the products definitely are, it could be services, it could be products, but definitely they should make some impact on our society.
Very true. So before we wrap up, what is one message you would like to leave with our viewers about the importance of sustainability in daily life, and especially in connection with climatic change and pollution?
So the most important thing is that the change begins with you.
Right.
And you yourself first need to understand that whether you want to change or not. You cannot change the society if you are not interested in it. And you have to believe that the government will do it, or somebody else will do it, or my organization will do it, or somebody who is heading a company will do it. That has to be stopped. You have to think that I will be the first point of change, and that if you don't believe in bringing around a change, then it is not going to happen. And also a second message, it is high time we can see the change in climatic conditions. sitting in various cities, we can see the amount of heat. This is real. This is happening to us. So please do not think that, this is happening to somebody on the other planet, or this is happening to somebody in another country. It is happening every day with us. So if today we don't take an effort, imagine always all of us try to create a better life for our children. So what is the life which we are going to give to our future generation? If we really don't change, then this is being very selfish. So please bring about the change. Try to inculcate the sustainable aspects in your daily life by small contributions, and your efforts will definitely make a lot of difference. Believe in it, and all of you can be change makers. So, and best of luck for anybody who wants to create a change. And you could join any organization, volunteer, but do your bit. That is the one message I have. Whether you're working in IT, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a teacher, everybody can make a change.
Absolutely correct. Thank you so much for joining us on Shorewell, Anandita. And your dedication to sustainability, women empowerment, and grassroots level innovation is truly inspiring. On behalf of Nisarg Srishti Welfare Foundation and all our viewers, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I would definitely love to be part of this organization and spread this message to as many people, because sound pollution is very real, and we should all try our best to see that we can do it from the bottom of our hearts.
And at the end, we wish you continued strength and success in your mission. God bless you.
Thank you.
Friends, thank you for joining us on today's episode of Shorewell. If this conversation made you pause, reflect, or rethink, don't just scroll away. Like, share, and subscribe to support the cause. And if you're ready to take the next step, join us as a volunteer, a Goodwill ambassador, or support us through donation. Avoid unnecessary honking, especially at signals and in traffic jams. This is Neena Singh signing off. Stay happy, stay healthy, and let's silence the noise for a better world. Thank you.